Hello, everybody. Floppy Hat Photos back here again for another episode of Taking Care of My Father. And today is Saturday, the 21st. And today was a beautiful day weather-wise. Absolutely just gorgeous. Went out and checked on Dad today and stuff. Doing pretty good. Everything seemed to be going great. Ran down to the farm. I got a call from staff after I was back. And they asked me to run down and pick up some extra sheets to make like some sled, like some like bed sleds, I guess what you want to call it. Like something to put underneath him to kind of help grab hold of the sheets and move him around instead of trying to grab his arms and that kind of deal and hurting him a little more. We got the extra sheets. I went down and picked a couple of those up. They asked me to bring in some deodorant. I couldn't find any deodorant in the house. I don't know if it got moved to Jeff's place and never got moved back out or what happened to it. So I swung by Walmart, grabbed a thing of deodorant, not a big deal. Went ahead, took it out there to him, and I was dropping off the stuff. I went ahead and was hanging out, talking to him a little bit. He decided he wanted to try and eat something, so he's drinking some Ensure. Actually doing really well. He was swallowing good, all that kind of stuff. He was kicking butt. He was very lucid, was making sense. Everything was doing awesome. Was doing really, really well there. And then out of nowhere, he decided he had to take a Valium, which was fine, no big deal. Got him up. Actually, I hollered for the nurse and stuff on the little pager thing. She came in, she got him up, got him on the pot and that, and then it came time for him to get cleaned up, and I told her I'd step out and that to kind of give him a little privacy in the hang. And he's been doing really well, standing on his own, all that kind of stuff. Just needs a little help, kind of balancing himself a little bit here and there. And I'm not sure what exactly happened in the process, but I was down talking to staff down by the front, dining hall area, the main entrance, and someone in the kitchen come out saying 13 was in need and help immediately. I had my dog with me, so we just took off like we booked it down there. I was like the first one in the room by far. Ran my ass off down there stuff, and Bruce was really confused. He's like, "What the hell are you running here in the building for? We're told not to run." So, busted in the room, kind of tossed him down to the side of the collar. Took his leash off real quick, trying to lay down. He actually did really good. He got out of my way. It was awesome. He did not get in our way. And Dad had actually fallen on top of the nurse, unfortunately, and she'd hit the side of the bed and stuff. I felt horrible. Trying to get him up, we just kind of settled down. We ended up having one of their staff members there and another nurse that came in, and the one nurse was on lifting restrictions. She'd hurt her back before, and the new girl, I could tell, the girl had just, I don't know if she's new, but the one that had just helped him up, she was getting off shift in like 10 minutes. I was kind of giving her a hard time, but well, she's got one last job to do. And then, of course, the fall happens. It's just a giant mess. I felt horrible for the poor girl. Was not good at all. We finally got settled down. Dad didn't realize, I don't even think he realized he fell. He was upset because he wanted to lay his head back. So his head was kind of tilted forward. And he was kind of leaning to her. So we got her out from underneath Dad. Went ahead. She was able to get up and kind of catch her breath and get settled in a little bit there. And then she went ahead and started making one of those new sheets I just brought in into a sling to help kind of get him up. And Dad was bitching about how he wanted to lay down. He wasn't comfortable. And we're like, well, you're not comfortable. But he's also been really kind of pissy and moody about anytime I make a change, whether it be the pillow, whether it be the bed, whether it be the fan, whether it be anything, he wants to make like a move like this far. If we got to move him up a foot up the bed, he wants to move 1 inch or a half inch at a time. He wants to sit there for about 5 minutes, see if that's comfortable, then move up another half inch. I'm like, we don't have time for that right now. You're on the floor. We have to get you in bed. So he's able to. The nurse kept saying she wanted to do it. And I was like, you just hurt your back. I can tell she was in pain. Her face was red. She was not in very good condition at the moment. And I was like, no, screw that. I'm like, I'm picking him up. Just tell me where to lift. Tell me what to do with him. So I went ahead and kind of got the rope, the sheet around stuff, kind of grabbed it up really good and was able to pick him up. Luckily, my father is very thin right now. He was never a large man by any means. He's fairly short, and he's lost a ton of weight with this whole cancer deal kicking his butt. Much easier to pick up than if he was an obese man. That would have definitely been a much more shitty situation in the process. We got him up, got him on the bed, started trying to get in position. It was just a lot of hassle, and I don't think he even realized he felt like he was really out of it. And I don't know if it was the blood pressure or whatever when he stood up, if he kind of got lightheaded or whatever. He really had no idea where he's at or what he was doing at that moment. We finally got him in position and stuff. The nurse kind of got back, got herself settled down a little bit, came back in and helped. She was a trooper. She was a beast on the whole thing. She went ahead and it was her shift was over, so she took off. And then we kind of hung around there, and there's a lot of that. Dad wanted like the blankets perfectly straight, and this little bed mat here had to be over this way, and he was just it was really I wanted just to scream. I was so frustrated at the fact that he doesn't realize that he just in the process of falling. There's a girl who's possibly got her back hurt. Who knows what's going to happen there with that. I'll hopefully find out more tomorrow talking to staff if they can give me an update on her. Unfortunately, she was going off shifts. I have no idea what her case was. I finally told the rest of the staff, like, I got this. I got him positioned about where he wanted to be. It was just a lot of move the pillow here, turn the fan on his way. In the middle of all this, like, we're literally turning him on the bed, and he's still on the floor. We're getting him up on the bed. He's like, I need some chapstick. My lips are really dry. And I'm like, we don't have time for chapstick right now. We're kind of in something else. So it was really interesting. A lot of the stuff now, the pain meds they've got him on, he's got him a little bit slow in the head. And every time we start doing stuff, he just wants everybody to slow down, stop doing the thing, because everybody starts trying to overanalyze what he's asking for, and then he has to take a minute. But this one, with his on the floor, there was no time to stop and think. It was just kind of getting him up off there. Mostly I was wanting to get him off the nurse. Unfortunately, she was kind of pinned underneath him in the process, and that sucked really, really bad. So we got it all figured out. The rest of the staff left the room. I was able to get him calmed back down, get him settled in. And I'm sure he hurt a lot more right then because of the fact that his body probably had never tried to hold him, like, had that weird move in the fall, and the body kind of had a weird thing. Nothing the staff did wrong because, I mean, he's been standing on his own, so there was no reason to expect to have to pick him up every time. And then within the hour, we got him situated and stuff, probably about 35, 40 minutes. Got him all perfectly situated. And he decided he had to use the stool again. So I was like, you just came off the stool. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And the one lady who wasn't even really a nurse, the nurse that was on staff was not really, she wasn't really lifting a lot. And there was like an hour gap between the next one coming on who had the ability to lift well. So I told her, I said, hey, we'll take care of this. We'll work this out together. So she got him on the pot and that. Went ahead, got him back up, and I said, I'm going to pick him up while you wipe him up and that kind of deal. So I held him up. He kept saying, I got to get down. I can't stand up here. I'm like, I've got you. I've got my arms, kind of hugging him from the front, holding him up, and he was like, just really kind of a little confused in the process. It's like his blood pressure is not really quite going up high enough when he stands up. He's losing a little bit of common sense there, but we worked it all out, and it was crazy as all get out. So we got him back down. Took us forever, finally got in position, got him about where he wanted again. And literally, I'm still in the process of getting him positioned, and he decides he has to go to the bathroom again. And I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. And so I'm out there like 4 hours in this hassle. He's on the pot 3 times, and finally the third time getting back in the pot. The staff is awesome. The staff is amazing. They're working with him. They have if they have the frustration, they're hiding it so well. I mean, they're so awesome at their job. I love that staff. Everybody out there is amazing. We got him back on the toilet, and all it was he had gas. So I mean, I understand the fact that when you don't know if you're pooping or farting, it's obviously a scary situation where you're at. But it was just like, okay. And then basically he decided I got him back in bed. I think all settled down, got it all ready to go. Everything's fine. And it was within the hour again, he's like, I think I have to go, or it might just be gas. And I'm like, well, right now there's nobody can get here and that kind of stuff. I said, why don't we just lay here in bed? You've got it depends on and stuff. Why don't you go ahead and just let's hope it's gas and just give it a try. And if it is, a bowel movement, we'll have them come in and clean you up as opposed to getting you back up. I think this is, 4 times in 4 hours is just too much for the staff right now. Worry about cleaning you up or not. And he goes, okay. I said, well, and he kept talking like he wanted to wait until I left before he farted kind of deal. So I went ahead and took off. I said, hit your button if it's not just gas, if it was a bowel movement. Let him get you cleaned up. You don't want to get bed sores sitting around and, in a mess and your depends. So I went ahead, headed back out of there, kind of told staff what was going on, kind of gave them a heads up and that. Everything seemed good. I said, need anything at all, just call. My phone's on 24/7. I'm good there. So took off, got back home, talked to Mom for a little bit. Mom actually talked like she wanted to go out and see him. He's been telling his parents, my grandparents, that he wouldn't mind seeing my mom and stuff. They got divorced back in like 77. Their divorce went final, ironically, on the day Elvis Presley died. So that was one of the things. I know what day that was, but it was a long time ago. They've kind of got to where they can be social to each other and cordial in that. They'll see each other in the store. They'll speak a little bit here and there. There was years where he was causing crap all the time. She stirred a little shit too. A lot of hard feelings, but they did awesome. She came out tonight and was talking to him, and he thought it was after, that was like 10:30. It was like 8 o'clock at night. And he was awake and stuff. He's like, you need to go home, go to bed, go home, go to bed. And he didn't hardly talk at all to her. And he was kind of a little bit of a jerk, which I warned her it might not be the best day because the fall and that, he was a little bit in and out of it. But it's not like I think he's going to have many more great days. So everything went good. She kind of, I don't know. I'm sure there's some weird closure stuff there. I mean, obviously, they were married when she was still in high school kind of thing stuff. There's obviously some love there still, even with all the hatred over the years and that. So definitely, I really felt bad for her, too, in the process that he wasn't more, I guess, thankful. He wasn't more appreciative of her being there. So it's one of those things, he talks highly about her at times, about, he got 2 good kids out of her and stuff. And I made the joke with him a few days ago. I'm like, really, what 2 kids are that? Because the only one I know is my brother and me. And that's not what I would call good on either one of us. So he kind of laughed and joked. And he kind of got mad at me for making him laugh. Because when he starts laughing, then he gets to hurting a little bit. Mostly, I think he's wanting to feel sorry for himself. He just wants to pout in his last, few minutes, days, hours, whatever you got left, months, whatever you got left. And I use humor to mask my pain and my sorrow. So I always like to make jokes. And then he gets pissed off that he shouldn't be laughing at those because he's wanting to just lay there and suffer and kind of poor me kind of deal. So every once in a while, at least once a day I'm out there, I'll make him laugh. And then he gets mad at me for making me laugh kind of thing. But I'm hoping it's at least a good mad at me, not, really actually truly mad at me. Because usually he'll smile real big. He'll kind of just grin back, his eyes closed, and he starts laughing. And he looks at me, he's like, don't make me laugh, kind of thing. So I know he's enjoying it at the moment. But then he realizes he shouldn't be laughing. He should be somber. He should be dying. So that's how I deal with, my pain is through humor. And that's the best I can do, is try and spread a little bit of humor back into him too. So overall, I guess the day was super damn stressful, but it's over. I'm going to check on tomorrow. I'm heading up to Ottumwa to hang out with my buddy, get my cigar smoking in. And he was definitely wanting to make sure I do that. He's been bugging me like crap, making sure I go up there. And last week I didn't stop out at all because I thought I had multiple people coming out, and nobody showed up. And I was so pissed off. And that's when Monday went to hell. And this whole week's been downhill because of Sunday. So I'm going to definitely stop in. At least on my way out of town, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to try and spend some time. If it's 10 minutes, if it's an hour, whatever, I'm going to spend some time with him in the morning. Make sure he just realizes that somebody's there, somebody cares about him. And then I'm going to try and see if I can't convince Grandpa to come out there also tomorrow and hang out with him for a little bit. Unfortunately, Grandpa did stop out when I was out there earlier today. And we had the fall, we had all that stuff. We had like 4 hours of just hell on him. And he'd done a ton of stuff. We had to change his morphine packet, all kinds of stuff. He had just tons and tons of stress. And he was wanting to go to bed. I was in the process of leaving, and Grandpa walked in. And he was kind of like, I really felt bad for Grandpa because he kind of was like, go away, I'm ready to take a nap. Just go away. I love you, but go away kind of thing. So I kind of had to explain to Grandpa he'd had a really hard time for the last 4 hours, and I'd been out there every minute of it. And we were both exhausted. Even my dog today is like just exhausted. He's so whipped. Just that 4 hours of dealing with that, and it was an emotional roller coaster. It was just downhill like the whole way through. It seemed like it was just this today was a bad day. Like I said, it started out great when I first got there this morning, and then also the early part of the second visit, and then it just went downhill, and it was 3.5 hours of absolute shit. And the dog could sense the stress in the room. He could sense the urgency, the whole thing. He went and laid down in the corner over by the chair. He was super awesome. I loved the guy. The dog was so good with everybody. Stayed everybody's way. It was just amazing. But you could tell he's just wore out today. He's really been clinging stuff. He's really been wanting to be on top of me, wanting to sit on me and stuff. Like right now, he's even on my feet. As we said, I can't go anywhere in the house without him staying right with me today. So that'd be interesting. See how tomorrow goes. So that's the best I can do. Hope you guys, if you ever end up in a situation like I am, you're able to cope with it the best you can and find some kind of stress reliever. Mine's my running, and also going and hanging out with my buddy and his dad tomorrow. I'm going to hopefully get myself a little bit of peace tomorrow. So that's all I got for now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Regardless of how your family's been, you have to care for them and be there the best you can. Because with him, it seems like I'm the one who's able to calm him down quicker than anyone right now. And unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, I'm able to do it. That's fortunate. That's what I should have said. I meant to say, fortunately, I'm able to calm him down, and I'm able to get there and help relieve his anguish, his anxiety, and all that kind of stuff. So no matter what, I'm going to be out there till the end. So I'll talk to you soon.